Nanaia and Wiremu, thanks a lot for the ride. Just having a bit of interesting korero with you about what you're doing with your piece of land that you're getting back off the settler government.
That's right.
And maybe you could just share a little bit more about your ambitions with what you want to do with your piece of land.
Dad?
Well, first off, we're just going through the courts to succeed to my grandfather's land, just to take it out of the system, so it comes back to the family, to its rightful, to the rightful people that the land we don't really own it as tangata whenua. We actually kaitiaki of the land, and it was given to us by God. God gave us the land, and He gave us this word called kaitiaki, which means to protect and preserve the land, because He will come and take back what's rightfully His. So what we're doing is taking it away from the government, so that they don't destroy God's creatures, God's creations, and all we're doing is trying to restore it back to how it was when God gave it to us. So all we really want to do on our land is live free, just to live off our land, and just try and get away from the money side of things.
It's just beautiful walking on land where you can just, sometimes where there's no sign of human civilization at all, isn't it? And just you can observe the rivers and the trees and the wildlife just in their lazy little symphony.
Yes, it's a good thing to get into, because it gives you a sense of worth, of knowing your whakapapa goes back to God, and knowing that He gifted us this whenua to preserve and protect. And I think now that Māoris as a nation is actually
sick.
Is sick because of the inputs of other people that have come, and they've actually conditioned our people to think that they're doing the right thing by letting them do what they do. It's quite a big thing. We can talk all day about this.
It's for us. We're going home to heal. It's the only way we can heal, is to go home and just be one with the land. And anyway, who cares what we do with it or how we're going to do it? It's just the fact of going home to heal.
How do you think things might develop? I mean, let's say 5 years from now. How would you like to see things develop? What would life be like on your piece of land in, say, 5 years or 10 years' time?
I hope.
Really, we're doing this mainly for my mokopuna and for their mokopunas. What we do today is not for us. It's, what we do today is for them, for the ones yet to come. They're not even born yet. What we do today is for them. So what we're going to do is establish the foundations for the ones yet to come.
My children's children.
My children's children and their children's
end their suffering.
To end their suffering, because going through the system,
it's just one thing after another.
You're actually a slave. You're actually a slave to your own mentality. And they drum it in your head as soon as you go to school when you're 5 years old. That's what they teach you.
Even earlier.
Now it's 3. Now it was just on the news this morning that as soon as your kids turn 3, you have to take them to preschool. So it's like
they're training them there. The media.
They're training them real young.
And then you get all the vaccines, and you get coerced into all the vaccines by going to school.
Or you get a fine.
Sooner or later they'll be giving an extra government benefit for everybody that puts a chip in their kid's head.
What's the matter with us teaching our own children? Why can't we do that on our own terms?
In 5 years' time, we want to see ourselves not even in the system, off the grid completely. Really want to learn about how my tipuna lived, so I can teach that to my grandchildren.
So our stories carry on.
Yes.
So our children have belief in themselves rather than something that's over in America or
something that's not real.
Something that's not real.
You know, when you think about it, there's so many kids that were absolutely useless at school and who had a terrible self-opinion of themselves through school, and yet they turn into amazing learners afterwards, and they become, they learn all sorts of skills, become proficient in all sorts of trades and skills, and, you have to wonder about this education system, who's deciding what's important to learn,
Here's a fine example. My daughter's 19 years old, and she hardly, from what I do know, is I've sent her to school every single day. Whether she went every single day, I can tell she never did, because she couldn't do the simple things like reading, writing, adding maths, just the simple things. And yet she went to school every single day. And yet, at home, I've taught her how to cook, clean, since she was 5 years old. She can cook a 3-course meal with her eyes closed. She can clean her own house. She can clean your house, my house. Just the basic little things that I taught her. Now that she's 19, it shows she's got her own house. And she might not be epidemic or have any certificates to prove that. But her family, her visitors comment her cooking, comment her, they comment her day-to-day living. They comment the way she cleans up, the way she acts, the way she's, polite, she's not rude. And she was brought up with just simple morals, family values.
And if you feel like people don't respect who you are or where you come from, it doesn't matter how many great learning facilities they've got and how many great qualifications they say they're going to teach you, you're not going to take it in very easily, are you?
No. For me, it's a lack of understanding, because if they don't understand what I'm saying or where I'm coming from, they own that. That's his opinion, because everyone's entitled to what they believe and how they should take things in. But really, at the end of the day, it's not their fault, because they've been conditioned that way by our system. Our system wants you to act this way and accordingly, and that's how they condition our minds to think. It's like driving. Look, I can't go over 100 because in my mind, I might get pulled over. It's like
lines. Stay in a straight line. Don't move.
It's everything around us is made to control. Everything you do with the system is all about control, and who controls it, and how they control it. It's like the government, how they say that they can do this, they can do that, but really they can't do it, because the only reasons why they are doing it is because we're letting them do it.
Giving consent.
Yes. But you got to understand that as a government, when you register your child, when you get a birth certificate for your child, that means you are surrendering your rights as a parent. Your new parent becomes the government. His name's called John Keys, because John Keys is the director of birth policy, which is a company, and the birth certificate is your bond to that. It makes you a subject to the company. So what you are now is you are a revenue. You become a revenue, and that's how they revenue money out of you. Through the inland revenue, you get your birth certificates. As soon as you get a birth certificate for your child, that child no longer is yours legally. Legally, they have control. So if they think you're not looking after your child, they will come and take your child, regardless of what you do. Why? Because you're the father, the mother's given consent, the father's given consent, so you can't do anything about it because they didn't drag you in there and forced you to get a birth certificate. You went and got it voluntarily. It's like your registration. People go and do it voluntarily because they think if they don't, they're going to get a fine, an infringement notice. Yes, so what I'm talking about is there's no law in this country. There's no law. There's only rules and regulations. There's no law. The rule of society is only given the force of law by consent. So if there's no consent given, then it's not law.
Right, well said. So Nanaia and Wiremu, you're moving back onto the land, and maybe I can just get you to summarise what are you excited about in terms of just creating your own reality on your own piece of land?
Yeah, no, we're just going to move back to the land and just live free and just want to live in peace, just get something for the kids to.
What about your own kind of spirituality? How do you see that fitting in with moving back onto your own piece of land?
For me, personally, that is the main reasons why we're moving back on the land, because the whole spirit of us as people, as Māori people, it stems from the land. Our DNA comes from there. It absorbs all our worries, our pain, our sorrows. It also gives us life. It's one big resource, and we need to use it properly because it's running out of energy. Our whole spirituality comes from the land. We are the land, and when we die, we go back to the land. So if we're not going to look after that, we need to learn about why are we destroying it then.
You mentioned before about when Māori greet people, they quite often acknowledge the surrounding environment.
Definitely, that's first and foremost. As soon as you enter any Māori property, marae, protocol stands, whether you're Pākehā, Māori, English, it doesn't matter. You stand there and you give thanks for being alive. You give thanks to the heavens, you give thanks to the ground, you give thanks to the trees, because everything we're surrounded by lives off us and we live off them. Without each other, we're nothing.
That's like a beautiful attitude. And in terms of the, you mentioned the word noa.
Noa, it's bad energy. It's something that comes with you. You don't know, because it's something that can bother you. It can be something that's, itching you. You just don't know how. It's many moods. It's a mood, and it's a bad mood. So when you come to the marae, it's protocol of ours is to break that noa. It's what it's called. It's a noa. It's the energy, that's bringing in something bad to the marae. And as the people of the marae, it's protocol that we get rid of that bad first before we enter onto the marae. So the bad energy doesn't go around. So as soon as we're on the marae, we have a karanga ceremony, which is one lady does it. Can be many ladies, but the whole process of the karanga is to break that noa. It's to refreshen us. It's to bring us back to equal, on one level. And our level is the mission for going on to the marae. The purpose.
And you're mentioning there's a reason why women usually sort of conduct that ceremony.
Yeah, that reason is because only a woman can cleanse our energy that's so bad, because we're children, so we come from, the calling comes from a depth that's in the womb, and only a bearing woman can know that pain, because once you're a child, you reach that tone, and the karanga is the same. It's to purify everyone that we're karangi for. It's to, the depth of it comes from in the womb of your tummy, and you only reach that at certain times. It's something that you get taught. It's not something that you have to have. Once you're familiar with it, then these women will carry on the tradition. It's bearing of childbirth, and you're also taking away the energy of bad. You don't want anything bad to come onto the marae. So it's good for all of us.
Great stuff. And just to summarise for you, Wiremu, your feelings about the land again?
Yeah, no, just have inner peace and just get on with things, you know. Just yeah, no.
Create your own reality, eh?
Yes.
You were talking before about some of the suffering that people have experienced through all the systems.
Yes.
Yes. Well, we're products of the system.
Yep.
So for me, going back to the land is about releasing all that, you know, just letting it go, just let it go in peace.
I think the land's got the power to do that, and I really wish you both well in your venture and look forward to coming and visiting you, because I'm really enjoying the ride.
Yes, thank you for even giving us your input on what you do. You know, it's very refreshing to learn each other's ways so we can just move on.
Sometimes when I get picked up, you know, with people, I sort of get tired as soon as I get into their car, whereas you guys get energised, eh?